Hundreds and hundreds of minis came out this year. From the Icons of the Realms line, we had Dragonlance, Sand and Stone, Glory of the Giants, Seas and Shores, we had Adult Dragons and Warbands, we had pre-release box sets, we had the Adventure in a Box series, we had Archdevils and Demon Lords and classic creature sets, and so many more. Pathfinder had the Fists of the Ruby Phoenix box sets, we had new Epic Encounter boxes from Steamforged Games, and just a ton of other releases from other companies. I haven't had time to review every mini we've received, much less seek out the ones we haven't. But of the hundreds of minis that I've seen this year, today I'm going to give you my personal top 10. This is obviously a super subjective list. My choices are based on the quality of the mini, its usefulness to a campaign, the impact it has on a table, and the story potential it has. Of course, I wasn't able to narrow it down to just 10, so we're going to start off with several honorable mentions. But let's get right to it with the top 10 minis of 2023. You ever just want to pull out your phone and be playing RPGs like Pathfinder with your friends? Tabletop Town brings that asynchronous play to your fingertips in a beautiful streamlined package with all the bells and whistles. Play great indie RPGs like Honey Heist, Moonlight on Rose Hill Beach, or big games like Pathfinder 2nd Edition with the newly released remastered rules. Character sheets, dice, the official rules, images, and chat are baked right in. You can even specify with a tap if you are chatting in or out of character. The app is free to use with optional purchases of official rule systems. Stop worrying about scheduling your next session and just play by post anytime you want. Download a Tabletop Town from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store today. We'll have the links in the corner or down below. Let's start with some honorable mentions in no particular order, starting with this big boy, the Maw of Yeenoghu. This is just the scariest mini I've seen all year. A hill giant transformed by Yeenoghu with rows and rows of ever-growing teeth, driven by an insatiable hunger. It charges at its prey on all fours, with its gaping mouth scraping across the ground and hoovering up everything in its path. This would have made the top 10, but I think the paint job could have been a little bit better. Next up is the bandit riding on a mountain goat from the Epic Encounter series. I just love the concept of a bandit crew living on a mountainside where they've tamed the local mountain goat population to serve as mounts, hopping from cliff face to cliff face. You can see some examples of this mini painted up on Instagram and Twitter. Just a really fun figure to inspire some great encounters. Next up is this Yuan Ti figure from the D&D Onslaught set, Nightmare of the Frogmire Coven, which we'll be reviewing here soon. While this might not be the most interesting figure from a storytelling perspective, I think it's one of our very best quality Yuan Ti minis. Nice paint job, solid figure. I love to have a full Yuan Ti warband based around this figure. Just an overall very solid mini. Next up we have the Goliath Chef from the Big B set. This is just an amazing concept for a mini. It can be hard to impress me with a PC figure, but a rotund Goliath cook who uses an oversized fork as a weapon is an idea that I can get behind. And it's on my short list of characters that I would play in a D&D one-shot. And this one includes a shout out to my friend Michael, who had a very similar character concept in my Storm King's Thunder campaign years ago. This one is a little bit out of left field and may show my bias toward cute minis from more minor races, but I really like this Bullywug mini from the Onslaught Froghemoth set. Again, it feels like the Onslaught minis in general are getting ever so slightly better paint jobs than our regular Icons of the Realms minis. And this one is just simplicity at its finest. But he looks like a lovely little sculpture, and I would want a garden gnomed sized version for my own front yard. Next up is this Frost Giant Ice Shaper. Really detailed, tons of gravitas, just looks like a fantastic villain or even a potential Frost Giant ally against a common foe. I would have ranked this one higher on my list if the paint job on the fur around his shoulders was a little bit better. It needed a wash and maybe some highlights. Our final honorable mention goes to Ior, the Aarakocra monk from the D&D Onslaught Harper's 1 expansion. I love hyper-specific minis, and a Way of the Drunken Master Aarakocra monk holding a gourd tanker and in the Karate Kid pose is just always gonna get me. I think the paint job could have been a little bit better, but the concept of this mini here is just so much fun, and this is another character on my short list of characters that I would want to play. number 10 is Hal Jen, a human plane-traveling sorcerer who played a major role in the Pathfinder Society campaigns over the last couple of years, and who has a role to play in the Fist of the Ruby Phoenix adventure. The mini is serving Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force, and if you want a PC mini that is going to upstage everyone else at the table, well, here you go. It would rank a little higher, if the paint job and the shading was a little bit better, but it's still a very impressive sculpt. Next up, we have the Manticore from the Epic Encounters Cave of the Manticore box. Now, yes, this is a massively oversized Manticore. According to the stat block, he should only be a large creature, but I needed the mother of all Manticores in my life, and this is the most impressive legendary Manticore I've ever seen. I just imagine plopping this down on the table once it's fully painted and having an incredible mountain showdown. If you've painted this one up, please post it on our Discord channel and tag me so I can see it. Next up is another bird folk, this time from the Pathfinder Battles Fist of the Ruby Phoenix set. We have Razu, the Tengu Master Bard, whose instrument is an eru, or as it's sometimes called in the West, a Chinese two-stringed fiddle. Again, a highly specific PC or NPC mini. This one is more elegantly painted and really detailed. I love everything about this figure, though I do need to try to fix that bent eru. Razu also has a really interesting stat block if you want to use him as an enemy. Of the larger minis that released this year, I think the Topaz Dragon was one of the best. It had a very unique design. I love the floating spines along its back. The swirling nature of its pose is also very unique. And Topaz Dragons just present some interesting storytelling opportunities as neutral creatures obsessed with death and decay. The Gem Dragons present quite a challenge, I think, for mini makers, and I am really eager to see the rest of the collection. Next up, we have the Dorian Storm mini from the Critical Role set Crown Keepers. I'm a little bit surprised how many PC minis made this list, because I'm not usually that impressed with a PC mini. This one just has such a good color palette with the blue and the orange lined cape, and he's an Air Genasi Bard, which is also a fun combo, and the pose just has so much good Bard energy. My only complaint is the paint job of his hair. It's supposed to fade from the black at the top to the white at the tips, but it just ends up looking like a piece of cloth. I have no complaints, though, about the top minis on this list, starting with Rome, the monodrone from the Planescape box set. This is apparently the recolored version as well, so I'm curious to see how it compares to the original when we finally get our hands on it next year. I have a deep love for the Modron. I love their design, and this is just such a cute figure with the rainbow feathers and the little dagger. I want to figure out how to build a character that has a monodrone pet companion one day to use this mini. Next up, we have the Lizardfolk riding on the Saber-Toothed Tiger mini from the Epic Encounters line. Again, this is a mini that requires a little bit of imagination to picture in its fully painted form. Putting together this list, I realized how much I really like mounted minis. I highly recommend popping over to Instagram and checking out some of the amazing works folks have done on this mini. There are details that you don't even see, you don't even notice until the paint job brings them to life. Just a great figure. As we move into our top 3, give me just a moment to thank our longtime sponsor, Hit Point Press. Their holiday sale is live now, and they also still have several imperfect items available at steep discounts. If you're looking for some gifts this holiday season, I recommend the Humblewood book or box set for a sophisticated campaign with a very cute aesthetic, the deck of mini animated cards to add some pizzazz to your games, the Griffon Saddlebag for creative and gorgeously illustrated new magic items, and the Islands of Sina Una for a unique campaign setting based on pre-colonial Filipino mythology. Check it all out right now. The link's in the corner or in the doohickey down below. Next up is Pluck, our hard rock goblin bard, the best PC mini of the year, maybe one of my favorite PC concepts of all time. I don't know why I have never put rock and roll and goblins together in my mind, but if this mini doesn't inspire your role playing, then nothing will. The Onslaught team is unrivaled at creating really interesting characters, and I hope they get to continue doing it for years to come. Next up, we have one of the most striking and legendary minis of the year, Lord Soth on the Greater Death Dragon. This is one of those modular minis, so you can have Lord Soth riding the dragon or both of them as independent minis. But if you're going to introduce such an iconic villain as Lord Soth, you need a mini that can match his reputation, and I think this one does that. This is a mini that will meet the energy of the climax of a year-long campaign. Finally, my mini of the year is the Cloud Giant of Evil Air from the Bigby set. When I first held this mini, it felt less like a mini and more like one of those premium figures that you see in hobby shops. It is so solid and heavy and well painted. It is a mini that I would put on my bookcase. A Cloud Giant who has pledged service to Yancy Ben, the Prince of Evil Air, gets a members-only vest adorned with wings made from rock feathers and enchanted with elemental air, letting them fly. And I love the understated take of the wings on this mini, not overshadowing the character's general physicality, but emphasizing it. We'll talk more about him in our full review of the Bigby set, which I am working on right now. And those are my top 10 minis of the year. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section down below. What were your favorites? Which ones did I forget about? Which ones did I just not see this year that I should have? Let's discuss. I think next year what I'm going to do is just start a list on January 1st and just keep it updated all year long so nothing slips through my fingers. But don't forget to check out Tabletop Town on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store to play your favorite games anytime, anywhere. And grab yourself something fun from the Hit Point Press holiday sale using our links down below. This isn't our last video of the year, not by a long shot. We just received the Adult Lunar Dragon from WizKids, is sitting right over there. And we have the more Ruby Phoenix reviews coming up and just a whole bunch more. We're also going to start talking about the new Heckna releases. Plus there's the Bigby's Glory of the Giants full set reviews, so be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. You can also join us every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern as we play Blood on the Clock Tower live. It's the most fun we have all week. But for now, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.